One of Hollywood's biggest names just got compared to one of the most dangerous predators in music history. And the person making that comparison, someone who's been inside the industry for decades.
I've actually compared her, Jada Pinkett, to R. Kelly without the underage part. And people got really mad. But without the underage part, what's really the difference?
Let me tell you something. If you're sick, like he's physically ill.
Yeah.
He's emotionally, and then the damage you do. Like, this dude was talking about, right? So it isn't just you having an affair or whatever you do. It's that in your wake, because you felt bad, that dude was behind.
Before you think he's exaggerating, listen to what else he knows.
You know that your husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son, and you ain't do shit about it.
That's Jaguar Wright, a woman who's been calling out the Smith family for years. But the proof got even darker when Will himself finally admitted it.
We made a very, very, very terrible mistake with our children.
Will Smith, confessing on UK radio about raising his kids in a system so twisted, even he's calling it a mistake. But here's what nobody is connecting. This wasn't just parental negligence. This was orchestrated, calculated, systematic. Will and Jada didn't just make mistakes. They ran a predatory operation, and the evidence has been sitting in plain sight the entire time. Let's start with Jaden Smith, because understanding what happened to him is the key to understanding everything else. In 2013, Jaden was a young man living in one of the most privileged situations in Hollywood. His parents were megastars, his siblings were successful, he had access to literally anything. But something was deeply, deeply wrong. And it reached a breaking point during the press tour for a film called After Earth.
At 15 years old, when Jaden asked about being an emancipated minor, my heart shattered. He ultimately decided against it, but it sucks to feel like you've hurt your kid.
Will was admitting years later that his own son wanted to legally separate from him and Jada at 15 years old. Think about that for a second. Your own child is so desperate to get away from you that he's willing to go to court to make it happen. But what's even more disturbing is what was happening during that exact same time period. During the After Earth press tour, the very moment Jaden was privately begging for freedom, Will was doing something to Jaden on camera that nobody wanted to talk about.
Only a man knows what a man needs.
That's Will, and he's saying it while putting his hands on Jaden in front of cameras. This wasn't a one-time thing either. He did this multiple times. Every single time, Jaden looked uncomfortable, visibly disgusted, trying to pull away. But Will kept forcing his lips, his hands, his presence on his own son. Here's the thing though, at the time everyone just assumed it was weird rich guy parenting. A strange father-son dynamic. Nobody connected the dots. Nobody asked why Jaden would want emancipation immediately after this. But according to people close to the industry, people like Jaguar Wright, Will wasn't just displaying weird affection. He was doing something far more sinister to his own son.
Oh no, that your husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son, and you ain't do shit about it.
When Jaguar said this, she wasn't speaking hypothetically. She was speaking from knowledge that came from people inside the Smith household. And the worst part, Jada knew. According to Jaguar, Will started with Jaden first. And when Jada found out, instead of protecting her son, she joined in. Now, you might be thinking, that's insane. That's an extreme accusation. But here's where it gets worse, because Jada wasn't just passively allowing this. She had her own predatory operation running in parallel. If Will was targeting Jaden directly, Jada was hunting in a different zone. She was targeting Jaden's friends, young men who came into that house, who trusted the Smith family, who thought they were being mentored by Hollywood royalty. Instead, they were being groomed by a woman who saw them as prey. And the most infamous case was August Alsina. August wasn't just some random guy. He was one of Jaden's closest friends. Jaden brought him into the family circle. He trusted him. He probably looked up to him. And then one day, he finds out that his best friend has been sleeping with his mother.
He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know? And I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it.
Listen to those words. Years of his life. August gave years to Jada. And according to multiple sources, he did this while he was at one of his lowest points, mentally and emotionally. He was vulnerable. He was young. He was impressionable. And Jada knew exactly what she was doing. Here's the timeline that people have been missing. Will and Jada were going through a separation. Will essentially told Jada she could sleep with whoever she wanted. And instead of going out into the world and finding someone, instead of finding literally anyone else, Jada Jada looked at her son's best friend, a young man who was struggling mentally and emotionally, and decided he was her target.
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
An entanglement. That's her word for it. Not an affair, not predatory behavior. An entanglement. It's the language of someone trying to minimize what she actually did, but Cat Williams didn't minimize it. He called it exactly what it was.
I've actually compared her, Jada Pinkett, to R. Kelly without the underage part. And people got really mad. But without the underage part, what's really the difference?
When Kat said that, the internet exploded. People thought he was being hyperbolic, but he wasn't. He was making a structural comparison. R. Kelly targeted vulnerable young men. He isolated them. He used his power and position to manipulate them. He destroyed their mental health in the process. Jada did the exact same thing, minus the explicit age issue. The mechanism was identical. And here's what makes it even darker. Jaden was watching this happen to his own friend. He watched August get pulled into his mother's orbit. He watched his best friend deteriorate. And according to Jaguar Wright, he couldn't do anything about it because his parents had him trapped too.
Well, he was sick, and he was mentally sick, and he was emotionally sick. Now,
Yeah, I mean, I've actually compared her, Jada Pinkett, to R. Kelly without the underage part. And people got really mad. But without the underage part, what's really the difference?
Let me tell you something. If you're sick, like he's physically ill.
Yeah.
He's emotionally, and then the damage you do. Like, this dude was talking about, right? So it isn't just you having an affair or whatever you do. It's that in your wake, because you felt bad, that dude was behind him.
August was vulnerable, and Jada weaponized that vulnerability. She didn't just have X with him. She consumed years of his life. She made him devoted to her. She made him love her. And then, when she was done with him, she discarded him. But the operation didn't end with August. According to multiple sources, Jada has done this with other young men in Jaden's circle. Different names, same pattern, same predatory mechanism. Now, here's where the story takes a turn that most people don't understand. The Smith family's downfall wasn't random. It wasn't just about Jada's bad choices or Will's weakness. It was industry retaliation, and it all traces back to After Earth. Cat Williams has been trying to tell us this for a while now. Nobody was listening. He's been saying that the industry blacklisted Will specifically because of what happened with Jaden on that film. But it goes deeper than just a bad movie. Facts.
They had decided that they were finished with Will when he did After Earth with Jaden, because there was no way they was gonna let Jaden on, because Jaden didn't have to do what you had to do to get in.
Kat is hinting at something massive here. The industry saw what Jaden had been subjected to. They saw the damage, they saw the pattern, and they made a decision. No more. Jaden wasn't going to be put on that screen. Not now. Not like this. But there's a second layer to this retaliation that's even more calculated.
We're not gonna let you put Jaden and Willow on. And from there, they've done what was necessary to take him from a $20 million movie to put him in a position where maybe it can appear he has a nervous breakdown and now is unemployable.
Kat is alleging that the industry didn't just pull Jaden from After Earth. They deliberately destroyed Will's career trajectory. They orchestrated his fall, and they did it because they knew what was happening inside that house. Think about the timeline after Earth flops. Jaden wants emancipation. Then, years later, the Chris Rock incident happens at the Oscars. Will walks on stage and slaps Chris Rock. It feels like a spontaneous outburst, but what if it wasn't? What if it was the culmination of years of industry pressure, public exposure, and calculated humiliation? Wait, Wendy Williams in 2013 was already hinting at the dynamic between Will and Dwayne. She was doing this years before Bal made his allegations about Will and Dwayne's relationship, which means the industry knew about Will's alleged extramarital activities long before the public did. They had this information, they held it, and they used it. This wasn't just about personal scandals. This was about leverage. So here's the operating system of the Smith family. Will is trapped because he has secrets. Jada has those secrets. Jada uses those secrets as leverage to control him and do whatever she wants, including targeting his son and his son's friends. And when they both get exposed, the industry doesn't just let it go. They weaponize the exposure. They destroy them systematically. But while all this maneuvering was happening at the industry level, there was a human cost. Jaden was deteriorating in real time. By 2019, 6 years after he sought emancipation, Jaden was in crisis. illness. He was dangerously underweight. He had developed an eating disorder. His skin was gray. He had dark circles under his eyes. He was struggling with substance use allegations. He was making bizarre public statements. He was dressing strangely. He was spiraling. And according to his parents, it was because of veganism and the failure of After Earth. But people close to the situation know the truth. Jaden wasn't having a breakdown because of a movie or a diet. He was having a breakdown because of what had been done to him. They blamed veganism. They blamed the movie. They blamed anything except themselves. But then Jada made a decision that would prove just how deep the control and manipulation went. She forced Jaden into experimenting with psychedelics. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying psychedelics are inherently evil, but when a parent introduces their child to powerful mind-altering substances as a form of treatment without proper medical supervision, as a quasi-experimental protocol, that's abuse. That's chemical manipulation. Will is admitting years later that the parenting strategy they used was a mistake. But he's not just talking about the psychedelics. He's talking about the entire system of control, manipulation, and absence of boundaries. He's admitting that they told their kids to do whatever they wanted and just report back. Which means there were no safeguards, no protection, no actual parenting, just chaos and permission. Think about what that looks like for Jaden in that context. His mother is preying on his friends. His father is doing things to him that he doesn't understand and doesn't want. And they've told him that as long as he tells the truth about everything, there won't be consequences, which means Jaden had no safe space. He had no protection, he had permission structures, but no boundaries. That's how you create a traumatized young man. But here's the thing, you don't give someone psychedelics to lose their ego when what they actually need is therapy, protection, and real parental guidance. You do it when you want to control them, when you want to break them down further, when you want to make them more compliant, and it worked. By the time Jaden emerged from that period, he was a different person, changed, damaged, still struggling with substance use, still wearing things that don't make sense, still walking around looking visibly traumatized. The predatory operation wasn't just about targeting. It was about the systemic destruction of a young man's mind, body, and sense of self. Now, the question everyone should be asking is, was Jaden the only one? Was August the only friend? Or is there a broader pattern? According to Jaguar Wright, there are others. She's alluded to multiple young men in Jaden's circle who had similar experiences. Different names, same mechanism, same predatory pattern. Ball, when he went on Tasha K's platform, dropped a bombshell that people glossed over. Ball said he knew of other men, other incidents, other victims of Jada's predatory behavior, and he was threatening to name them if Jada and Will continued their legal threats against him. But here's what's important. Ball never got to name those names publicly, which means there's a whole layer of this operation that we still don't know about. There are other young men out there who were targeted, who were used, who had their lives disrupted by Will and Jada, and the industry, the lawyers, the PR machines. They've all worked together to make sure those names stay buried. When Wendy Williams knew, she'd been calling this out for years. And even as the initial exposure happened, Wendy was saying it was just the beginning, that there was more to come, that the dam was going to break. The question is, when will it actually break? When will all the names come out? When will all the victims come forward? Because right now, Will and Jada are still operating in a space where they've partially dodged accountability. Jada went on Red Table Talk and did a performance of confession. Will made some half apologies, but they haven't actually faced the full weight of what they've done. What makes this operation so insidious is the control mechanism underneath it all. Jada has information on Will, potentially damaging information about his activities, his secrets. And she uses that information as leverage. She keeps him compliant, she keeps him silent, she keeps him in a position where he can't leave, can't expose her, can't protect their own children.
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, listen to how Jada talks to Will in that Red Table Talk moment. She's not speaking to him like a partner. She's speaking to him like someone who's already left him, like she's already decided he's beneath her. And Will is just sitting there taking it because he has to, because she has leverage. And that leverage allows her to do whatever she wants. It allows her to target his son. It allows her to target his son's friends. It allows her to publicly humiliate him over and over again. Jada has spent years publicly disrespecting Will, telling the world she never wanted to marry him, telling the world that Tupac was her real soulmate, telling the world that she preferred August, all while Will sits there and takes it. That's not a marriage. That's not even a partnership. That's a hostage situation. And in that hostage situation, Jaden and everyone around them becomes vulnerable to exploitation because Will can't protect anyone. He's too busy protecting himself from exposure.
I'm gonna get married, but
We only got married because Gammy was crying.
I was under so much pressure, you know, being a young actress, being young, and I was just like pregnant. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do, but I just knew. I was like, I never wanted to be.
Jada is saying she married Will only because she got pregnant. She was pressured into it. She never wanted it. And Will, hearing this, is just sitting there because what can he do? Leave. She'll expose him. Fight back. She'll expose him. Protect his son. She'll expose him. So he's trapped. And that trap is the infrastructure that allows the predatory operation to function. Now, here's where the conspiracy deepens because the Smith family's downfall wasn't accidental. It was orchestrated. According to Cat Williams, the industry made a deliberate decision. When they realized what was happening to Jaden, when they understood the predatory operation inside that house, they didn't go to authorities. They didn't demand accountability. Instead, they used it. They used it as leverage for their own purposes.
Will Smith is not the giant that he is solely on the merits of Will Smith or his family. There are 300 corporations that are a part of the Will Smith business operations.
Will Smith's entire empire is built on infrastructure controlled by other entities, production companies, studios, networks, corporations. And when those entities decided Will had outlived his usefulness, or when they decided he needed to be punished, they had the power to dismantle him. They cut him off, they blacklisted him, they orchestrated his public humiliation, and they did it not out of moral outrage, but out of business interest.
And from there, they've done what was necessary to take him from a $20 million movie to put him in a position where maybe it can appear he has a nervous breakdown and now is unemployable.
Cat is saying the industry deliberately destroyed Will's career. They took him from a $20 million player to unemployable. And they did it step by step, making it look organic, making it look like Will brought it on himself, making it look like his own bad decisions. But it was calculated, it was orchestrated, it was an execution. And the Chris Rock incident at the Oscars, that might have been the final move. The humiliation event that cemented his public destruction.
These two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. The state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever.
Beth was defending her honor. That was right.
After the Chris Rock slap, defenders tried to frame it as Will protecting Jada's honor. But Vivica saw it differently. She saw it as a man without agency, acting out because he's been pushed to a breaking point by years of control, manipulation, and public humiliation. Will didn't slap Chris Rock because he suddenly became violent. He slapped Chris Rock because he'd already been destroyed by an industry that wanted to destroy him. He was the perfect sacrifice. So where are we now? What's the current state of this story? Jada's credibility is shattered. August came forward and exposed her. Jaguar Wright has been calling her out. Bal went on record with allegations about Will. Wendy Williams has been proven right about nearly everything she said. Cat Williams is continuing to speak, and the cracks in the Smith family narrative are getting wider. But here's what's important. The full story still hasn't come out. We still don't know the names of all the men who were targeted. We still don't know the full extent of what was done to Jaden. We still don't know how many people in the industry knew about this and stayed silent. We still don't know what Jada is holding over Will's head, and we still don't know if law enforcement has actually investigated any of this, or if the wealth and power of the Smith family has allowed them to operate above the law.
So Jada, I'm giving you 2 more weeks to sue me. If you don't sue me, this is what's gonna happen. All the parties, right? And the people, the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names.
Ball threatened to name names. But has he? Is he still being threatened? Is he being paid off? Is he being legally silenced? Because if Bal went on record with the names of other victims, this entire narrative would shift. The Smith family would move from tabloid scandal to potential criminal case, and maybe that's why the names have stayed buried. Maybe that's why the full operation has remained hidden. The evidence is out there. The clips exist. The testimonies are public. Jaguar Wright knows. Ball knows. Cat Williams knows. knows, Wendy Williams knew, and on some level, the industry knows. What we have is a documented pattern of predatory behavior, systematic manipulation of young men, the targeting of a vulnerable son, the abuse of parental power, and the orchestrated destruction of a family that became inconvenient to the power structures that created them. Will and Jada didn't just make mistakes, they ran an operation. And until that operation is fully exposed and prosecuted, it will continue. The question isn't whether this happened. The question is, when will accountability actually come? And the answer might be only if the people with information, Val, other victims, industry insiders, decide to actually come forward and finish what they started to expose. Until then, the Smiths remain partially protected by wealth, power, and the complicity of an industry that knew and did nothing.